In this video, we are going to look at the different quadrants we have in a Cartesian plane. So when we draw our x and our y axis, the two of them, we have four different divisions. We have this side, that side, this, and that. So four of them. And each is called a quadrant. Why is it a quadrant? Remember, in a circle, or when you divide a circle into two, what do we have there? A semicircle, right? Great. If you divide it again, then we're going to have four parts. And each part of the circle is called what? A quadrant. We bring that idea into the Cartesian plane. So, since we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 parts, we have quadrants in here. Remember, this is a vertical line, that is a horizontal line. They form an angle of what? 90 degrees. That's a quarter, which we equally have that side. Quarter of a circle, 90 degrees. That is quarter of 360. Total should be 360, 180, 270, 360 degrees. Get it? Got it? Great. Now, in that two axes we drew, we have our first quadrant in this position. All numbers that are found here in this space here, numbers we plot there, are within the first quadrant. Why is it the first quadrant? Because that side is where we have all positive numbers. Remember, we said the y values we have got here are positive, the x values here are positive, x values here are negative, then y values down here are also negative. Got it? Got it? Great. So we move in the anti-clockwise direction. We go this way. Remember, at home, when you look at the clock right now, you can see the seconds, it's moving in this direction. That is the clockwise direction. However, in the Cartesian plane, we move in this direction, which is the anti-clockwise direction. Got it? Great. Therefore, whenever you are writing or you're identifying your quadrants in the Cartesian plane, your first quadrant is in this position. So we have our first quadrant here, we have our second quadrant there, we have our third quadrant moving in that direction, then lastly we have our fourth quadrant here. It is wrong for you to move in this direction to say that your first quadrant, yes, that will be correct. However, your second quadrant will not be the same like the fourth. The third will be the same. However, your fourth will also not be the same. So do not interchange this. We move in that direction and not in this direction. Get it? Got it? Great. So if we place these points, point A, B, point C here, D, E, point K, point R, point T, then I ask you, let me put another point here, point F, another point here, point G. Then there is a question, which of the, I forgot to label my axis, and that is correct, that's incorrect. Make sure that you always label your axis X and Y. Now the question comes in, which of the points I've written down, this is just a sample, which of the points are in the first quadrant? Remember, this side is our first quadrant. So the points in the first quadrant are what? A and point B. Get it? Got it? Great. Can you find the points that are in the third quadrant? In the third quadrant. Your 5 seconds of thinking time will start now. And when the 5 seconds is over, I am going to give you the answer. Good. And you are back in 3, in 2, and in 1. Which of the points are in the third quadrant? Clearly, we can see that our third quadrant has K and has C. When there are points on the line, for example, point F, which is exactly on the x-axis, it is not included in the quadrant. So take note of that. Point G is on the y-axis. It is not counted as part of the third quadrant or part of the fourth quadrant. It is not in any quadrant. It is exactly on an axis. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, points that are on the in the second quadrant will now be what? T and E, second quadrant. Then the fourth quadrant will just be D and R. Get it? Got it? Great. Now the last part of this lesson, if you are given any point A, for example, which is 3, 4. That's how we read the point 3, 4. We don't say 3, 4 or 3 semicolon 4. Just say 3, 4. The coordinates are 3 and 4. However, when you're reading it, we say point A, 3, 4. Get it? Got it? Good. Can you just look at these two coordinates and tell which quadrant? Let me draw a smaller axis here, X and Y. Good. Can you look at these 2 points and tell which of the quadrants this will be? We can see that the X coordinate we've got here is a positive number. So it is found right here. Positive X is to the right of the origin or the center. The Y coordinate, it's also positive, which is also found upwards here. So which quadrant have I drawn here? Obviously, that is the first quadrant. Therefore, point A will be found in the first quadrant. Did you see how we do that? So that's very simple. Look at the integers or integer signs in front of the coordinates. That will tell you which quadrants we have our points. Let's try another one. Point K, which has -2 and -4. So let's go back to our Cartesian plane. So in our Cartesian plane, -2 for X. Remember, the first coordinate is the X coordinate. The second is the Y coordinate. So our X is negative. The integer sign is negative. X is negative at this side, the left side. So this is the line we are looking for. The Y is also negative. Where is Y negative? Downwards, right? Good. So the Y is also negative here. Therefore, this boundary we've got here is in represent what quadrant? That is the third quadrant. Therefore, this point is in the third quadrant. Got it? Got it? Good. Now, I would like you to try the following and try to determine which quadrant they will fall within. You can make a rough sketch, and that will guide you in finding your quadrants. Great. When you're done with this, please click on the video that talks about reading points from the quadrants.